Welcome to the Balance of Cinema podcast, a show dedicated to discussing movies from the cinematic failures to the lesser known classics hiding on Tubi to deep diving into the drawer of Brendan Fraser's 2000s movie career. I am your host, Steven, and this is my co host, Parker from Dissect That Film. Hello, Parker.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you, and we're here to talk about, as everyone knows, this famous movie starring Brendan Fraser, and it's directed by the director of Nightmare Before Christmas, which everyone knows is Tim Burton.
Wrong.
I actually watched your Nightmare Before Christmas video before this, just to see if there's any mention of Monkeybone in it. And in the first 5 minutes, you're already like, okay, Tim Burton did not direct this movie. It's Henry Selick. Tim Burton was there for like a couple days. Sure, he wrote the poem, but he did not direct the movie.
Yeah, so that was an early episode, and after doing a little bit more research afterwards, he was more involved than I gave him credit for in that episode. I was just being very cynical.
Yeah.
About the fact that people always just go, yeah, that was directed by Tim Burton. That's a Tim Burton movie. It's like, yeah, I mean, I guess to a degree, but it's a Henry Selick movie. But no one knew who Henry Selick was, so who cares?
Yeah, I definitely understand why they would put the name on there. And then,
absolutely.
As you can see from marketing from Henry Selick movies, they don't say his name. They just say from the director of Nightmare Before Christmas, probably hoping that people think it's Tim Burton.
Oh, absolutely. That's what they were trying to do. Because the crazy thing was Henry Selick had done Nightmare Before Christmas, and he had done James and the Giant Peach. And I mean, to be honest, I don't even think people would know that Henry Selick was the director of that, to the point where it's like, oh, okay, so it's another movie that has stop motion in it, and it says it's by the director of Nightmare Before Christmas. It's got to be Tim Burton. It's got to be a Tim Burton movie. But no one talks about it because it's so bad, right?
It's the same thing with Coraline. I remember that one was like heavily from the director of Nightmare Before Christmas, and then you look it up and you're like, oh, Tim Burton didn't direct this. He's directing stuff like Corpse Bride.
I feel like other than people who are very into like the people behind the movies, you put Henry Selick, like just throw his name out there, and I guarantee it's a very small percentage who's going to know who he is.
Yeah.
And it's very sad because the man is very talented and has made some very impressionable movies and unforgettable movies. I mean, you talk about Coraline. That's a fantastic movie. Like that's a movie where you can kind of put it up against Nightmare Before Christmas and be like, is it better?
Yeah.
I love Nightmare Before Christmas, but like, is Coraline better? I mean, maybe.
This is my movie buff card should be taken for me. I still have never seen Coraline all the way through.
I love stop motion. I love everything about it. I love like all of like the stuff with Henry Selick. And of course, I think that was one of the reasons why I actually enjoyed this movie growing up, because of the fact that, for one, it had Brendan Fraser, who I was in love with because of The Mummy, and two, had stop motion in it. And I was like, anything that had to do with stop motion, I was sold.
For me personally, even though I love Nightmare Before Christmas, the movie I most think of when I think of him is actually James and the Giant Peach. I used to love James and the Giant Peach as a kid.
So good. It's so good. It still hits. I rewatched it earlier this year, maybe over the summer. You know, because I have a couple young kids, and so those are movies I can just kind of throw on and not worry about it. And I remember just being like, oh yeah, I've never thrown this up, and I threw it up, and I was gonna do other things and just have it on, and I just found myself just sitting there just watching it intently. Like, man, this movie is just still so good.
I definitely need to give it another watch. It's been years since I've seen it. I mean, last time I've seen it, I remember this. I watched it on a VHS, so it's been quite a while. I haven't had a VHS player since I was in high school. So, Monkeybone was also written by Sam Hamm, who most people are probably not going to know about him, but some of the few drafts, the initial drafts of Tim Burton's Batman. I don't know if he wrote anything for Batman Returns. It just says that I think he just got a story by credit. But I do know that he got to write some Batman comics too.
Yes.
He wrote Blind Justice, which is actually where they got Henry Ducard, aka kind of Liam Neeson's character from Batman Begins, but not really.
Mhm.
And he wrote the Batman '89 comic book series, where I'm assuming that he just got to use more of his like initial stuff from the movies, which I haven't read those comics, but I've heard like a few people say they're actually pretty good, or at least the first series was.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it just kind of goes deeper into the Tim Burton Batman world, where it's like, hey, remember when Billy D. Williams was Harvey Dent and we were
Yeah.
supposed to get him as Two-Face? Well, he's going to be Two-Face in the comics. Like, it's not going to be Tommy Lee Jones. And it like built, it just built up off of events from the two Burton movies and kind of gave us more of that world, which I appreciate. And it's cool that they got one of the original writers of the '89 Batman to do it. I've never read them, so I just remember reading about like what they were about, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds interesting. Maybe one day if they have like a collection, I'll pick it up."
Yeah. Fortunately, how I read comics now is I wait for my library to get them, and then I'm like, okay, cool, I'll read this. All the comic book stores near me kind of closed down.
Yeah,
Sadly.
I don't even know. I think like the only place I can like find comic books is like so where I live, we have a place called Cumberland Farms, and it's like it's kind of like a really very low end like Wawa or it's a store like that, and they have racks of comics. It's just so random because it's like they have all of this convenience store stuff, and there's this like small rack of comic books. All right, sure.
Yeah, I was at the Dollar Tree and like I just saw that they had comics and it's like that's pretty cool for like people that haven't read it. But for me, it's like I don't want to read issue 1 of the new 52 Batman again. I already have that.
Yeah,
Speaking of comics, did you know that that Monkeybone is actually based on a comic?
I did not until
Uh,
I was looking it up earlier before we got into this.
Monkeybone is based on a comic called Dark Town, written by hopefully I get his name right, Kaja Blackley. And it is illustrated by Vanessa Chong. And I really wanted to read the comic before like we did this, just to like kind of make comparisons and stuff, but like this thing is hard to find. The comic itself is like around $100 or more. And apparently, like even like Internet Archive, it was like scrubbed from there. So yeah, trying to like find this comic is like impossible. Maybe it's sitting at like a used bookstore somewhere, just like randomly on the shelf of just like in the section of like comics that people don't know. Um, kind of looking through it though, it does seem to have the same like kind of basic plot. Just lead character goes into a coma, encounters a bunch of creatures and puppets, and then has to get back to his dimension. He's also French Canadian, which adds nothing to this, but I thought was funny.
Yeah, I mean that would be a version I'd like to see.
Specifically, the French Canadian version of Monkeybone.
Yeah.
Selick got the rights to the movie in 1997. I guess like he got sent the movie by one of his producers, and she showed him it, and he's like, "Yeah, I really vibe with this, and I want to adapt it." I was reading like an article in like 1997. It was they're already talking about how he's going to direct adaptation of Darktown, and then it took another couple years before he finally got the movie off the ground. 2001.
Yeah, that's a wild journey, and yeah, this is Selick's like first foray into live action, and it's interesting because like you only knew him for his stop motion movies, and the fact is like seeing his name attached to a movie like this, you're like, okay, I get it because they're stop motion, but it's like you can also see the fact that he has never done live action. Like you
Yeah,
can see it in just the way like the direction and just the way things are presented where it's like even the human characters are presented as like stop motion characters or like cartoon characters.
there's there's one in particular that I really want to talk about, but we'll get to that later. So yeah, to February 2001, Monkeybone was released to not the best reception and not to the best box office. But this is it's I wouldn't even call this movie a cult classic, but it is a movie that like you occasionally hear people like bring up. Like I've we're not the only people that I know that have actually talked about this movie and seen this movie. I've like talked to a couple people and it's generally not the best reception. But what was your experience with it when you were younger?
I mean, I remember seeing this after The Mummy. I remember my grandma had this on VHS, and I just remember seeing Brendan Fraser on the front cover, and I was like, "Yep, I want to watch this." Because anything after The Mummy, if I saw his face on a cover, I was watching the movie. And I remember, like, as a kid, enjoying it because of the quirky. Like, Brendan Fraser's funny. Like, he's a funny
Yes.
guy. And I think his style of humor fit well. I think the problem was it just went a little too far, and I think it's just kind of the collective. But as a kid, I enjoyed this. It was silly, it was stupid. Like I felt like I shouldn't be watching it. Like I was too young to watch it, even though I think I was like 10. I was like 9 or 10 when this came out. And I probably saw it a year or so later when it was widely available on VHS. And I just yeah, it was just one of those like, yeah, this is fun. I think I saw it a few times growing up, and then it kinda just left my zeitgeist. Like, I just never thought of it again until, like, it would pop up on the internet. Like, "Oh, yeah, you remember Monkeybone?" I was like, "Absolutely." Or anytime you would hear about Henry Selick, because I think, the last time I kinda thought about this movie was when Wendell and Wild came out, which was Henry Selick's last movie that he did on Netflix a couple years ago. And it was like, oh yeah, like I remember we did a small review of it, and I was looking through and I was like, that's right, he did direct Monkeybone. And it like just popped into my head, and I just it's just one of those like kind of fever dream movies where you're like, oh yeah, this thing exists. It's not just something people talk about. Um but yeah, that's kind of like my long history with it.
Yeah, I have a somewhat of a similar history. Like I like Brendan Fraser from like The Mummy or George of the Jungle, and so he was like a very prominent part of my childhood. And so you see a movie now where he is like, oh, there's talking animals, so obviously it's a kids movie, and then you watch it, like you said, am I old enough to be watching this?
Yeah.
um, and so it always felt like, like to me, it felt like, oh, like this is a mature movie that I shouldn't be watching, but my dad's letting me
Mhm.
watch it, so that's awesome. And because of that, it always like stuck with me because I love Brendan Fraser. So I always like kind of randomly think about like, various movies that he's in, and then just like, oh yeah, I remember he was in that like very like adult quotation marks and movie of the talking monkeys. Like, oh yeah, Monkey Bone. And then at some point, I learned that John Turturro was in this, and so when I started becoming like a fan of John Turturro, I would always like remember like, oh yeah, remember he was Monkey Bone.
Which I did not know until the end credits on my latest watch. I completely forgot that it was John Turturro as the
Yeah,
voice of Monkeybone because it doesn't sound like him at
yeah.
all.
Which if he honestly he kind of it sounds more like his brother Nick Turturro from like the longest yard.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, this movie like even though like I probably have seen it like maybe before this like 3 times throughout my whole life, it would always like keep coming back in my head. Generally very positively. We'll see if that remains to be the same thing by the end of this review. Before we start though, let's talk a little bit about the cast because honestly, this has a really good cast. We got Brendan Fraser, Bridget Fonda in like one of her last movies. I think she did this and then Kiss of the Dragon and then she was done. Chris Katan, which not his first movie. Um, Night at the Roxbury was a couple years before this,
Mhm.
but this was a couple years before the hit film Corky Romano.
Oh, boy. To be honest, I thought he was in this movie way more than he was. He's in this movie for, like, it feels like 5 minutes, and
Yeah,
I remember growing up, I thought Chris Kattan was in, like, the majority of this movie. I never could remember the context of his character. I thought he was, like, a sidekick to Brendan Fraser's character, but then you find out, nope, he is Brendan Fraser's character. Like it's
It doesn't help that he's on the cover of the movie.
yes, exactly.
Like this was if you kind of look at the VHS cover, this movie's almost sold on the fact that it's, oh my god, Brendan Fraser and Chris Katan,
What?
which maybe for like a good 2 years that was actually something that could sell a movie.
Yeah.
Corky Romano would like to do a day of this podcast. Um, I have a I have some interesting opinions of Corky Romano, aka I have positive opinions of Corky Romano. Also starring Giancarlo Esposito, who is most famous for being Sidewinder in Captain America: Brave New World.
Is that what he's most remembered for?
Oh no, maybe Breaking Bad.
I was gonna say, I was like, I don't know if he's most remembered for the newest Captain America movie, but I'll give it to you. No, it was funny. I was watching this with my wife, and I like his first scene pops up, and like we both had watched Breaking Bad together, and we watched a lot of Better Call Saul, and we've just seen a lot of stuff with Giancarlo Esposito. He's just a great actor, and
Yeah.
I was like, I forgot he was in this movie. And I'm just like, his first scene pops in. I was like, do you know who that is? That's Gus Fring from Breaking Bad. And she's like, oh my God. Like, it's so wild. Cause like, I don't remember. I know he's been acting since like the early Well, no, he was in Maximum Overdrive in 1986. So he's been acting since the 80s.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's weird seeing him in movies like this where you just don't remember that they're in it at all.
Yeah, because he was just like a regular working actor. Like other than
Yeah.
Do the Right Thing. Like I can't really think of like anything else where like he has like a substantial role. Um, even right now I can't think of anything. But then like Breaking Bad just completely changed his career. Um, to the point to where it seemed like a lot of things that a lot of projects that casted him were just like, do that.
Be that menacing guy, even though he's like one of the, from what I've heard, he's like one of the nicest guys. Like, be that mean bad guy. Like,
Yeah.
he was in that really forgettable Netflix movie earlier this year, The Electric State.
Oh God.
It's not good, and
No.
it's funny because it's like that's a movie kind of like Monkeybone where it has a solid cast. Like, say what you want about Chris Pratt, he everything outside of movies. Like, I enjoy him as an actor.
Mhm.
Like Millie Bobby Brown, of course, she's popular because of Stranger Things. But like Giancarlo Esposito's in it, and it like I couldn't remember some of the other cast, but like there's a pretty decent cast of that movie. But like it's one of those things where a couple years down the road, I'm gonna forget all about it. Like it's just a forgettable, just CGI nightmare that it just wastes its actors. But sometimes it's like actors just need a job; they gotta
Yeah.
take it.
I'm always happy when Woody Harrelson pops up in things, so it was nice to hear him as Mr. Peanut in that movie.
Yep, yeah, can never go wrong with Woody.
Not gonna I'm not gonna rank that movie anywhere near the top when it comes to me looking back at his career. Um, but yeah, it's just nice to see people sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Rounding out the cast, we also got Whoopi Goldberg and Dave Foley and Rose McGowan.
Oh yeah, we do. Rose McGowan, I'm like, yes, she's a babe in Scream, but maybe I think as a kid I had a crush on Miss Kitty from
Oh yeah.
Monkeybone. Like she
Uh
is gorgeous.
yeah, I who knows, I might cut this out. I might not cut this out depending on how much I want to be embarrassed, but I always wondered if like the mini like cat girl thing I have stems from this movie.
And maybe. I mean, listen, we like. I think when you're a kid, I think even a lot of adults, you get a crush on non like human characters, and it's okay to not feel weird about it.
Yeah.
Or it's
I,
yeah, that's what I
yeah.
meant to say.
I feel like there's a lot of people that are openly into Lola Bunny, so I guess it's not that weird.
um yeah, I mean Whoopi Goldberg. This was like towards the end of like Whoopi Goldberg's era.
Yeah.
Like I think shortly after this, she joined The View because she's been on The View for like 25 years. And so she didn't really do a lot of acting. She'd pop up here and there and stuff. But I miss 90s and like I miss 90s Whoopi Goldberg. Like,
Yeah,
and that kind of felt like what this was.
even like in not so great movies, it's still kind of
Oh
cool
yeah.
to see Whoopi Goldberg.
Hmm.
Ghost gave her like a lot of
Oh
Ghost gave,
yeah.
Ghost gave her like quite a lot of work for the next like couple next decade.
Yep.
Because then like you watch stuff like Eddie or Theater X, and you're just like, oh god.
Oh
um,
man.
but yeah, especially like as a kid, like I loved seeing Whoopi Goldberg and things.
Hmm.
Even like those I can't remember the actual director, but the newer live action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies. It was nice to see her in those.
Oh yeah, yeah. I forgot. That's one of those things where you're like, those movies are kind of like they're there, they exist. I mean, they're not terrible. I don't think they're as bad as people say they are, but it definitely feels like it's a Michael Bay movie, even though it's
Yeah.
not. But yeah, it's always one of those like, oh yeah, but Whoopi Goldberg was in that movie. I forgot.
Hot take, maybe, probably not. I like those better than Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, but yeah, I don't think it's a hot take actually.
Yeah, I mean, I rewatched it last year, and I actually like Ninja Turtles 3. I actually like it a lot more than I remember. But hey.
Maybe that one's due for a rewatch too. I don't know when I would ever rewatch that, but that'll be in my mind. I'll just one day I'll just be like, yeah, Parker said 3 was really good, so I'll go watch it.
I just picked up the original 90s trilogy on 4K, and so I have to rewatch it because I need to see how it looks in 4K.
Mhm. Ready to dive into the plots of Monkeybone?
I sure am.
All right. Go ahead and read the little synopsis I sent you.
All right. So, after a car crash sends repressed cartoonist Stu into a coma, he and the mischievous Monkeybone, his hilarious alter ego, wake up in a whacked out way station for lost souls. When Monkeybone takes over Stu's body and escapes to wreak havoc on the real world, Stu has to find a way to stop him before his sister pulls the plug on reality forever.
That synopsis really tries to sell the twist halfway through this movie.
Right? Like, why did you have to say that?
Yeah.
Like, you could have completely took out that entire final sentence.
That's the main reason why I kept that synopsis, because it's like that's a weird way to summarize this movie.
Oh, okay.
um the movie opens with God, I miss opening sequences so much. Even like this one where it's literally just Stu drawing. I thought it set the tone of the movie really good, or at least it got me interested in the movie. There was like an art to opening credits that have just been lost.
Yeah, because it kind of sets things up. Like, it's not setting everything up, but it gives you an idea of like what we may be in store for. And seeing Stu draw, which then leads into his cartoon, like I think is a really good transition into like the idea of like who this character is and what he's all about.
Speaking of the cartoon, we see. I'm assuming it's like a pilot or something for a Bucky. This can't be a full episode of a show.
No, well, so Herb, played by Dave Foley, he mentions it's the pilot, which I'm
Okay.
guessing there's got to be more to it because that was like a 45-second reel of an episode. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It was yeah. I mean, it had to be that length because of the movie. You didn't want to watch an entire episode, but yeah, it kind of just it's them trying to sell Monkeybone. And Monkeybone goes from being something that's not even been aired yet to now, hey, we're gonna make this like a phenomena.
This is
Like
going to
we're
be
gonna
the
get
new
merch and all
street shark.
that. Yeah, it's
This
a new
is going
street
to be
shark.
um. What did you think of the cartoon?
I funny thing is I grew up, I mean, you're a little younger than me, but you grew up with Captain Underpants, right? Like you
Yes.
remember Captain Underpants, the books, and then they made a movie, of course, a few years ago. But the animation for this cartoon kind of reminds me of the illustrations for Captain Underpants.
Oh, yeah, I definitely see that.
Like the way the hair, like especially the teacher that he has like a crush on because of her flabby arms, which is hilarious. And I just it was weird because it's like, yeah, this is definitely an adult show. This is kind of, I feel like it's going to be like a South Park ish like show where it's aimed more for adults. It's going to have adult humor. Uh, this kid literally gets a boner in class, so
I think the
yeah, definitely
boner
not for
is
kids.
Monkeybone.
Well, yeah, that literally it turns into Monkeybone. It made me chuckle. I thought it was a good little introduction to um, everything that's going on.
Yeah, I was honestly confused whether this is supposed to be an adult cartoon or a kids cartoon because like they're like trying to get like Happy Meal like merchandise out of this one.
We're selling Monkeybone as toys. Like you get to get the stuffy. It's like what? But this is not for kids. Like the kid gets a boner who turns into a monkey.
Yeah, like
Like
I know around like this time, like cartoons are like starting to push them. Like you had stuff like Red and Stimpy or like Invader Zim, which are like two like very gross cartoons that I'm a huge Invader Zim fan, but
mm,
I understand. Looking back at Invader Zim now, I understand my parents are like, I don't know if I want my kids watching this.
yeah, I mean Ren and Stimpy mostly.
Yeah,
You're
Red
just
and
like,
Stimpy
oh
definitely.
wow.
So I guess maybe they're trying to go for that, but like it just comes off more as like, oh, is this like gonna air like an Adult Swim or something, or like Fox late at night?
Yeah, it's like, who's this for again? I'm confused.
Then like we cut to Stu and he's just dealing with like he does not want to he does not give a crap about like this stuff at all. And just Dave Foley's just shoving like all these like merchandising sponsorships in his face and he just wants to get the hell out of there.
He just wants to
Which
propose to his girlfriend.
I don't blame him because this I'm sure the money's great, but like I don't want to like deal with like burger people.
No, but the funny thing is like, so, like, he's the anime. Is he the animator of the show? Is he the creator of the show? Like, what is he to the show? Like, he's clearly the creator of Monkeybone.
Yeah.
Like, so Monkeybone was a comic strip, which we find out because people are like, "Oh, I loved your, reading your, comic strip," and then it turns into this cartoon. But like, what is he to the cartoon? Is he the animator for the cartoon? You can hear his voice
Yeah.
as Stanley in the animated short, but it's you're like, why is he having to deal with all this? For one, the animator or the creator of a show is not dealing with sponsorships and all that. Like they have a department for that.
Yeah.
Like
It's
they have
literally Dave Foley's character is the one who should be handling all this stuff.
right. It's more like I think it's supposed to be him going to Stewart and going, "Hey, what about this stuff? What about this stuff?" And it's like, I think it's more of just like, yeah, fine, sure, whatever. Like he shouldn't have to be involved in any of that because it doesn't make any sense.
It kind of reminds me of Freddy Got Fingered, where like Tom Green. Have you ever seen that movie?
It's been a long time.
But like it's the same thing with that one, where like he's like trying to Tom Green's character's trying to sell a cartoon, and then they
Mhm.
make it, and it's like, okay, did they just buy your idea, or like are you drawing the whole cartoon too?
Right. Like, you think like you know, in reality, like Seth MacFarlane created Family Guy, right? And I mean, I guarantee he's in on deals because he is the creator and he is very much involved in that show. But like they have a publicist and they have these people who are like in charge of these things where he like I feel like this movie is trying to make it out like he is solely the one who needs to make these decisions and it's like no he doesn't like this is all bad like I think he's getting stressed out because he's like I shouldn't be doing these things.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring this up later when we get more into his character, but I think he's completely justified in his annoyance.
Oh, absolutely. I totally agree. I mean, he talks about it. He just wants, he tells Herb, who's clearly his friend slash publicist or whatever the heck he is. Oh, he's his agent. And he tells him like tonight's the night. Like he's gonna propose to his girlfriend, who's Bridget Fonda, who is at the time was just gorgeous. Bridget
Yeah.
Fonda was anything she was in. You're just like, yep. I mean, geez, even in Lake Placid when she was like the most annoying character in that movie, I was still like,
Yeah.
I'd still hang out with Bridget Fonda. She's a pretty lady.
I liked Bridget Fonda so much from other movies that when I finally watched Lake Placid this year, I wasn't even annoyed by her. I was just happy that I was watching another Bridget Fonda movie
Mhm.
because
Like,
you have
yeah,
a
she's annoying, but she's a fish out of water, so it makes sense for her character. She's very good. I mean, she was born into like acting royalty. You know, her family, like everyone in her family is a good actor or a great actor. So it's like if she turned out to be a bad actor, it'd be like, oof, poor Bridget Fonda.
if you're the granddaughter of Henry Fonda, you need to learn how to act.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, she's probably the Fonda that not a lot of people remember or really talk about much anymore because she hasn't acted since 2002.
Mhm.
So, I mean, to be honest, I think a lot of people, if they even mention Bridget Fonda, people got to remember she's married to Danny Elfman,
Yeah.
which is always a weird fact for me. But yeah, it's like Stu. Yeah, I agree. Stu's totally justified in his reaction to everything that's going on. He wants to go home. He wants to be with his girlfriend. He wants to propose. He just wants to like live a normal life. And unfortunately, he created something that is going to be popular, and it kind of puts a damper on everything. And ultimately, Monkeybone. It like the crazy thing is like the Monkeybone we meet in this other world isn't even the start of Monkeybone causing the problems, right? Monkeybone is
No.
literally the problem from the beginning. Like the popularity of this cartoon, and then the fact that like why is Stu having to bring home all this merchandise? And why does he have a giant blow up monkey bone in his back seat? Why?
Isn't it like a raft or something? No, I think it's just like a blow up. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
just like
because the head pops out of the roof, and it's just like, okay, but why? And also, and that's we'll fast forward just a tiny bit. When they crash, how come he goes into a coma and nothing happens to her?
I can actually explain this.
Okay, all right.
So, did you watch any of the deleted scenes?
No.
Okay. So this is back when movies would release and then deleted scenes would be on the disc, not like now where you have to like get them from like Apple.
Right.
um but and this is going to come back later when we talk about the weird continuity problems in a lot of scenes, but what actually happened in the deleted version of this, so basically he activates the blow up monkey bone and it like forces his foot on the brake and then they drive like straight into like a wall. They both get out and they're fine and Stu goes to call like the tow truck. Actually no, sorry, they hit street lights. And so while Stu is like talking into like while Stu's like talking in like the phone booth, remember phone booths?
Oh yeah.
You know, you can make a whole movie off of someone stuck in a phone booth.
You sure can.
The street light falls and then hits Stu while he's in the phone booth, and that's why he's in the coma.
See, that's the context we need though. Like I hate when they cut scenes that actually like
Explain things.
explain things. Yeah, like what like it literally shows him getting into the car accident, which is like, to be honest, it's so minor, like the car crash that they get into.
Yeah.
And also that giant monkey bone balloon would kind of cushion them. So the fact is like the next after they crash, it goes black and then they wake up and it's her over him, like, oh please wake up, please wake up. And you're like,
Completely fine too.
but yeah, she has like no scratches on her. And she's like, I'm like, what? But you guys got in the same accident. You're in the same situation. Like, how come she is completely fine and he's in a coma now? So, like, the fact that you had to tell me that deleted scene, and I'm like, oh, well, that makes sense. Like,
Yeah, he got crushed by a street light.
Right. Like, that would potentially kill you or put you in a coma. All right, makes sense. No, cut it. Okay, what? And I guarantee I'm not the only person who sat there watching this movie, especially probably in the theater in 2001, going, "What? What do
And
you
then
mean?"
too, like the cut of like the doll kind of like bouncing off the floor. That's from when he gets hit by. That's when he gets crushed in the phone booth. Um, and also when he's getting, I like the effect. It reminds me of Spawn.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because I watched the work pro to Spawn recently, but when one of the characters she gets like lowered into like the I don't know, I guess it's like a coffin or something because she died. He doesn't die. But I really love the shot of him like lowering like inside the little whatever case that he's
Yeah.
cuz like it just like kind of like looks normal but then it just keeps going down and so it kind of just sets up the fact that he's going into like another world. Um Also we get some easy to miss exposition from Bridget Fonda's character. Her name is Julie, by the way. I forgot to say that. um we get some like quick exposition from her that she's like basically she's a sleep doctor. I don't know if that's that's not the proper term, but that's what I'm gonna call her. And she mentions like, oh yeah, let's take him to university, and so that sets up why he's in like the university hospital later in the movie. But
Yeah.
yeah, Stu he gets lowered down into a roller coaster and gets sent to downtown, literally because it's called downtown.
Yep. Now, I would like an explanation if you have one or anyone listening. Why is downtown full of his creations, but it's also other people waiting to get back from their comas? Because he's in like this is like a purgatory because he's not dead.
I'm so glad you mentioned this because I was about to bring this up to you.
I'm like, and everyone knows him
Yeah,
and they like
it's
been waiting for him, and you're like, what? But why? Like the fact that like Death's guys show up and they like give the exit pass to other people that are waiting there, but yet this land is full of Stu's creations, and you're like, well, but why? Why are they
yeah,
there? Why are
it's
they there?
it's really weird because it seems to imply that these are all his creations. Like he looks through his journal and it has like a couple of the creatures that he's about to meet.
Yeah,
And so the movie seems to be implying that these are all from his head. But like you're saying, there's other like coma patients here.
yeah.
So it's like, is this his personal like downtown? And then just I don't there's overflow. So they're just like, let's just stick these people in Stu's downtown. Or did he just like have did he just create did he just like get unlucky and he just went to the downtown where most of his creations are also there?
Are they all in that bar? Because it's one of those things where, I mean, we see like Monkeybone outside the bar, and we've seen other characters, but like, is are all of his creations in that bar, and like that's his like place?
I think like the I saw this movie yesterday and today and I can't remember this, but I think like the Cyclops thing is in his little journal too. So
Yep.
maybe not.
There's the Cyclops. There's the bartender who's like that bullhead guy.
Yeah.
There's Miss Kitty is one of his creations. Monkey Bone, of course. That's the main guy. But
Yeah,
I feel like the majority of his creations are hanging out in that bar. So maybe that's like when you get sent to downtown, you have your own place that
maybe.
you get to hang out in until. But like, why would I want to be hanging out with all of my, which they're called figments because they're
Yeah.
part of his imagination. It's like, but I don't want to hang out with all these people. Like, yeah, it was cool to write them, like to draw them out, but I don't want to hang out. Like, clearly he hates Monkeybone.
Yeah.
And it's one of
Especially
those
too
things where it's like, why did you create him?
especially too because as they explain later in this movie, like he used to draw like a more of like a creepy like art style before he switched hands, which caused him to make things like Monkeybone. So it's like obviously these are like not things that he looks fondly on because he doesn't look fondly at this part of his life.
Yeah.
So it's basically a hell for him because he's stuck with
Right.
all of like the creations that he doesn't care for anymore. Um, yeah, it does because then even he meets some of his creations like right at the front of the gate. So I don't know. the, This it feels like this movie should have like a Dune level like handout that you should get. It's like, oh, figments are this and da 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 da. Da.
The world overall doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. This movie doesn't make a lot of sense. And
No.
I don't want to jump too far ahead, so I'll wait until you get to the certain point. But it's just like it got to a point where it's like, why does the second why is the second part of this movie even happen? Like, how is it even possible?
Yeah. um, oh God, it's all coming to my head right now. It's like, but and so yeah, he goes to a bar where he meets, like you said, a Bull is his name, and he's like a Minotaur man.
Yep.
Um, for some reason, despite the initial little creatures that he met are stop motion, and then the rest of the creatures that he meet are like guys in suits. This guy, for some reason, has like a very CGI face.
So he's CGI in this initial scene with Stu, but there are scenes later where you see the same character and it's like a head. It's like an actual physical head. But it like they intertwine it with CGI. It's very off-putting when you first meet him.
Yeah, I wonder if just like the puppetry or like animatronics were just bad on this one. They're like, we'll just fix it in post.
It's got to be awkward as hell because it was a guy's body and he's got this massive bull head. So it's probably trying to make sure he's not just like swaying back and forth trying to balance this thing.
Which he's voiced by Mike Starr, who is probably most famous for Dumb and Dumber. he's
Oh yeah.
he's one of the he's Mental, I think is his name was in Dumb and Dumber.
That was the guy in the dog car, right? Who yells at him when they're making the most annoying sound ever.
Yeah, and then they
Yep.
poison him.
Yep.
Okay, I need to get off Dumb and Dumber because then I'm just gonna be like, remember this part of Dumb and Dumber? But yeah, and this is the scene where we are finally introduced to Monkeybone, voiced by John Turturro. And I probably loved Monkeybone as a kid, but now as a 30-year-old, I can't fucking stand Monkeybone.
He's awful. He's not funny. And it's just, yeah, he's, and it, like, you feel for Stu because clearly Monkeybone is a character he created, I think, out of pressure. It's
Yeah,
never explained why he created Monkeybone. I think he created Monkeybone because I'm guessing like Herb literally probably was like, "Hey man, you need to create something that everyone's gonna like because like everything you're doing is just weird and depressing." Which actually sells now. Like that's
yeah,
what people
that's
want to
kind of
see now
funny.
is the weird and depressing stuff. I mean, that's why people love Tim Burton is because he was able to bring that to life,
Mm.
and so did Henry Selick. But I think Monkeybone was a creation that he just didn't want to. He didn't want to create. He hated what he was created for. Like he wasn't created out of passion. He was created out of necessity. And then of course Monkeybone is going to become super popular, and he resents that. And so I think that's why Monkeybone is the way he is. He's a character he can't stand. So of course he's going to be the most obnoxious figment of this world. And yeah, he's obnoxious, man.
It very much feels like they wanted like their own Roger Rabbit, but the thing is Roger Rabbit's funny and
Yeah.
Monkeybone isn't. Um and like he does like a little like Marilyn Monroe like song, and it's just like, oh my god, like get him off the screen, please. It only gets worse. Um and so that's why I say like Stu's kind of like in a purgatory, but honestly this has to be a hell for him.
Oh, absolutely.
Except for one thing. We talked about her before. Miss Kitty, played by Rose McGowan.
Oh my god. I even in the recent watch, I was like, "Whew, man, still got it, Rose McGowan. Still
Yeah,
all these years."
I've always really liked Rose McGowan. It kind of sucks to hear what how her career actually was. Um,
Yeah,
I always have the on-screen memories of her. Like, I love Planet Terror. That's generally what I think of. I think of her with the machine gun leg.
yeah. This was a movie I completely forgot she was in again. Like this, there's so many characters in this, so many actors that I'm like, "Oh yeah, oh yeah." Like every time they pop up, I'm like, "Oh, yeah, you're in this movie." Like Megan Mullally or Mullally, I can't remember how to say her last name, who plays Stu's sister.
Yeah.
I used to watch Will and Grace. I used to watch that growing up, and I thought she was hilarious. And she's married to Nick Offerman.
Yeah, which is why she's in Parks and Rec for most of
Yeah,
the.
and I was like, oh man, it got to the point where I was seeing these actors, and I'm like, when did this movie come out? Because this felt like such a 90s movie. It felt like it came out like 96, 97. Then I looked, I was like, no, this came out the same year that Brendan Fraser would later do Mummy Returns. It came out in 2001.
Another movie that she's in that I really like her in is have you ever heard of Stealing Harvard?
I have. I've never seen it, but I remember seeing the cover when I would go to like Hollywood Video.
Yeah. I had a weird love of both Jason Lee and Tom Green as a kid, so like seeing them together, it was like seeing Batman and Superman in a
You're
movie.
like, oh my god, how is this even possible?
I was a big fan of Stealing Harvard, and she plays Jason Lee's sister in it. She just plays like complete like he even says it in the movie. She's just complete trailer trash. But yeah, we're introduced to her. I almost called her Karen, which I think is her name in Will and Grace.
Yes, I think
even
you're
though
right.
I've never seen the show, I even know that. But she plays his sister Kimmy, and she basically tells the doctor, and by extension Julie, that when they were young, their dad just held on so long in like a coma that they'd both made a pact with each other that if either of them were in a similar situation, they wouldn't let it linger.
Yeah.
And so the doctor basically says, like, okay, yeah, after 3 months, that's generally the cutoff for like possible breaking out of the coma. And so now we have our ticking clock elements. Stu has 3 months to get out, which we later learn he did nothing for those 3 months and pretty much wasted them.
It's a scene. It literally says that, and then the next scene, it's been 3 months. You're like, what?
And this is a good part to bring up. I think this movie was horribly edited by the studio because there's a lot of things here that don't make any sense. So, a couple of things I wanted to mention is in the hospital scene. I can't remember exactly. I think she's wearing like a purple like overshirt, and then the next scene it cuts to her coming back home and discovering like the poster that Stu made for her asking to marry her, and she's wearing the same clothes she wore the night Stu went into his coma.
And maybe she really likes that outfit,
I guess
and she
so.
washed it, and yeah.
But like also like when she visits Stu at the hospital, it seems to imply that like that's the same day. So I don't know if this was like a reshoot and then they're just like whatever, nobody's gonna care about her outfit. Or they're like showing scenes out of order. It's especially confusing because she like mentions like Kimmy mentions like, oh, you got at least you got the ring, and then like Julie's like, what ring? Which makes it seem like she's surprised at the idea of like Stu proposing for her. So like, yeah, I guess this scene would take place earlier. This like perplexed me for like a good like 10 minutes. I had to like I kept rewinding just to make sure that I was seeing that like her clothes were different.
Uh, yeah, it's one of those things where you're just like, yeah, you can tell that either the studio stepped in, which, oh man, it always works when the studio comes in and just hacks the shit out of your movie.
Yeah.
But also, it's one of those things where it's like, you could tell maybe it was Selick not really knowing how to edit a live action movie
Maybe.
compared to, like, I mean, he's not the editor, but like clearly he's involved in the editing process. Maybe it was just like him trying to figure it out. And because he wasn't so like informed in that field, like in the live action field, that yeah, the studio stepped in and did what they had to do, and it didn't work out. And you can tell by the box office.
Yeah. There's another thing too where when Monkeybone does the Marilyn Monroe thing and he rips off the clothes, he's wearing like dress pants. But like then he jumps in Stu and he's wearing his normal costume. But then when we see Monkeybone again, he's wearing like a suit. So I think that scene was like a whole scene, and then they just cut it out to make sure it's like, well, that way we get two different scenes of Monkeybone singing.
I could see that as it being because of this world, because Monkeybone's not real, like he's a figment, is
Yeah,
that he can just kind of change into whatever he wants at whenever time he wants. So yeah, you could say it's a bad edit, but also you could kind of be like, oh well, it kind of makes sense in this
I mean,
world. Like,
that was probably why they justified it. 'Cause it's like, no, so
right.
what? Maybe he does this every day. It's the same
Yeah,
act every
exactly.
day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, by the way, I like how they drink their martinis through IV bags, connected to go karts, or not go karts, bumper
Yeah.
cars.
Bumper cars. So good.
It's hard for me to like. There's just like little like art designs in this movie that like it's like, oh, movie, you got me again. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll just see like little like art touches like that, and it's like, okay, movie, you had a good idea. But this is where we see like there's other people at this bar, and then like someone you like gets an exit pass. Uh, he's able to like kind of go home. Which the method for going home is they stick you into a chair that's connected to one of those test your strength carnival games,
Hmm.
and someone hits the little bell, or not the bell, but like the little trigger, and you get sent into Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. This is this is the full form of that shot in Beetlejuice at the end when Beetlejuice sends Charles's boss and his
Oh,
wife
yeah.
on the Chester strength thing and they crash through the roof. This is just you get to see the full thing. Like you
They
get
get
to see the where they're going.
they get sent into Abraham Lincoln's head. Yeah.
Yeah.
That works. Um I do like Stu like tries to like yell at the Reaper. He's like, "Hey, what about me?" And the guy's just like, "Sorry, mate, off duty."
He's got his little bike.
That's another thing too. I love that they use bikes and roller coasters. Those are the main transportation for Grim Reapers.
Yep.
So Stu is now at his lowest, and he just can't get rid of fucking Monkeybone either. He's just always following him. But Stu is invited to a pajama party that is run by Hypnos, aka the god of sleep, who I found out today is a Greek god. Which, okay, now downtown is connected to the Greek mythology.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, this movie doesn't make any sense. They're just making shit up and just throwing it in there. We're just like, put it in this bowl, mix it up. It's fine. A movie's in there somewhere.
But once again, the art style kind of grabbing me back again.
That is what keeps me invested in this movie. Is I love the art style. I love the stop motion. And no matter how stupid the script is, I love Brendan Fraser and what he's doing, and kind of we get to see two sides of him. We get to see him as Stu, and then later on we get to see the monkey bone side of him, where it's like, okay, like yeah, this movie's stupid. Like I am, but I'm still enjoying myself.
Yeah. So like this specifically, the idea of like the fancy formal party of downtown is a pajama party.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yep.
pretty clever, especially like it being like the god of sleep, and like this is where we find out that like this town is basically run on other people's nightmares,
Yep.
which we see Julie's nightmare. And honestly, I have to say, like when I was a kid, the nightmare scenes like creeped me out.
This is very Tim Burton.
Yeah,
This nightmare scene.
just black and white. Like I don't know if I want to say. I don't even know if I want to say gothic, but just like very like dark and like abstract, like kind of like art style.
Mhm.
She basically has like a dream. She has a nightmare of a Kimmy cutting Stu's cord, quite literally. Um, and then he deflates like a balloon.
And she's holding him, his little deflated head. Like, oh, Stu.
And apparently, so they're watching it on like an orb, like it's like some kind of like movie or something. And kind of like the idea if you break these orbs, that's how you wake the person up.
Yeah.
So it's like anytime you've been woken up from like a nightmare, It's just somebody like accidentally broke one of the screens that like people in downtown are watching, I guess.
And no one gets mad about it. Like he
Yeah.
smashes this thing. It's like, the hell, man? Like I was watching that.
It's like, that happens all the time, Stu. You're good.
And we got a bunch of them in the back. It's fine. We like you here, Stu. We get it.
And this is where we get introduced to Hypnos, played by Giancarlo Esposito, who's like a little satyr man.
It's so weird, the effects for him, because when you first meet him, he's laying in bed, so you could tell kind of how they're doing the effect, where it's practical little goat legs, and then it's him probably standing through this bed. So his legs are like under the bed, and it's just so weird. But I forgot they actually show scenes of him walking.
Yeah, it looks like it's stop motion, like of how jerky he's walking.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they just like composited like, like maybe like a shot of him like on his knees, and then they composite it with like the bottom half of like his little goat legs walking.
I guarantee it's just his head.
Yeah, probably.
It's just his head floating there.
Also, just for no reason, his girlfriend is apparently a bee lady.
Yeah. Yep. And fun fact is there's a Medusa singing at this party, and she's played by Lisa Zane, who is Billy Zane's sister, and also she was the protagonist in Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've only seen Freddy's Dead once, so I didn't remember that.
I unabashedly love that movie, even though it's definitely one of the worst ones in the franchise. But I don't know. I've always loved it. But yeah, it's funny because I don't know a lot of things that she's in, but I didn't even know that was her when I saw her in this movie until I'm on Wikipedia, just like, oh shit, it's Lisa Zane's right there. That's cool.
I saw her name and I didn't look, but I probably made the joke that like, oh, is she related to Billy Zane?
Yep, she is.
This is where Stu finally learns that, oh yeah, you're dying tomorrow, so you need to like hustle and get out of here. Why did they give like such a long timeline and then like do nothing with it?
Yeah, again, they just wanted you to be like on the edge of your seat, like, is he gonna survive? Is he gonna come out of it? Is he gonna really die? Like, it's like, movie, what are we doing? Like, say she's gonna do it in a couple days. Don't say 3 months and then it'd be like the next day, like the next scene. It's been 3 months.
So Hypnos tells Stu that the only way to get out of here is to steal an exit pass from Death. Stu, with Monkeybone's help, because once again he cannot get rid of this fucking guy. I mean, he's the titular character. I guess he has to be in like every scene after he's introduced.
I guarantee a big reason why this movie didn't do well, other than the fact that we know what this movie is the title is terrible.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess when you see the trailer and it's like, they're going to say Monkeybone is the monkey. So it's like, are you going to go see a movie that has this the whole way through? Like, I don't know. But yeah, terrible title. But I get why they did it.
I wonder if this was going to be called like Darktown or even Downtown, but then someone like some studio head was like, no, we don't want another Cool World.
Yeah, that's a terrible name. It's like, okay, well, let's name it after the main or about one of the most annoying characters. All right, sure.
They start to head towards Death's lair. They do this by hijacking a roller coaster ride from a Reaper. And I really like how the Reapers are so easily defeated. You just take off like their hood. They just take off like their like cloak and they just dissipate in nothingness.
They're just spirits. Yeah.
It's like, does that kill them? Do they like go back to like a point and then they like get another cloak and like, okay, I'm alive.
They automatically go back to death. They just throw a cloak back on it. Like, you're fine.
They just like float into like some kind of like jar or something, and then it's like, okay, I'll need to get released.
They're tortured souls. That's how they were freed. I'm free. Thanks for doing that. That's why they don't fight them. There's no actual fight. They're just like, I guarantee that guy was like, he's on his bike or he's in the roller coaster. I can't remember what he was doing, but he's probably just sitting there. He's like, I know they're back there. I know what they're gonna do, and I'm gonna accept it. I want to be free.
Because it just seems I doubt they get paid. So
I mean, what are you gonna use the money for? They probably don't do anything.
you just do this all day.
Yep.
And so yeah, they take the roller coaster to Death Slayer. This is probably the best part of the movie, I feel, because we're introduced to Whoopi Goldberg and an uncredited Thomas Hayden Church.
Yep. Heard his voice, and you know exactly who it is.
I have no idea why he's uncredited for this. It's not like it's a union thing, because you're gonna know it's him the moment you hear his voice. No one
Yep.
sounds like that other than him.
And he doesn't even have like a name. Like he's just the assistant.
I wonder
Which
if this
is
is just
funny.
like a favor or something.
Maybe.
Thomas Hayden Church, of course, most famous for Demon Knight.
Or Spider-Man 3.
Or trying to think of another obscure movie. Sideways. Yeah, Sideways is probably like Sideways and Spider-Man 3 definitely. I was trying to think of something more obscure that he's in. I like to point out actors more obscure movies. It's like, yeah, you guys know Bill Paxton from Slipstream?
Yeah.
They take one of the Reaper's robes. Um like I said, watched this movie many times. Do they ever explain why he has green like spit on
Nope.
the robe?
Nope.
Because I tried looking for.
I'm guessing there has to, like you were telling me about the deleted scene earlier. Like I felt like there had to have been a deleted scene that shows like, did one of them throw up on it? Like since they were on the roller coaster? Like
Maybe that makes
how
sense. Actually, now I think about it.
again, yeah, it does. There's no explanation. It's just like, why does he have green on him? And we're all going, I don't know.
I guess it would make sense if, like, I don't know, Monkeybone like was messing with Stu and he blew his nose on it, but then that would like totally contradict why Monkeybone's here. Spoilers. But yeah, Whoopi Goldberg brings like a level of joy in this movie. I really love like seeing her. Like even like when I rewatched, I was like, oh man, I really love Whoopi Goldberg's part in this.
Yeah, she's great.
And so they try to steal the exit pass. Only for Monkeybone to be really bad at subterfuge. It's hard to roll a deception roll when you have an idiot on top of your head also talking.
Yeah.
It very much feels like a Roger Rabbit type of thing where Roger just kind of like foils his own plans. But once again, like there's a reason why Monkeybone's here. So why is he being annoying other than that's just this character Stu made?
Yeah, I don't know. I think, like I was mentioning earlier, I think the fact that it's a creation of, creation from greed mostly, or like from pressure instead of it being created from passion. And so he resents this character. So, of course, it's going to be annoying. Like,
Yeah.
it's not going to be like a sympathetic character because he doesn't like it to begin with. He doesn't like Monkeybone from its creation. So, and he clearly doesn't care about the fame and fortune of it all. So, why not make this character annoying? It, I guess, fits.
Yeah. Funny part too here where so they get caught and Def's head just explodes and because apparently her head is just made out of ceramic.
Yeah, it's a little interesting touch.
I like the part where Thomas Hayden Church's character grabs the head and he just drops it.
Yeah, just shatters it.
He has to screw it on like it's like a cap of toothpaste or something.
The transition was good though, of the like fake head to her
Yeah.
actual head again. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, that's a good use of CGI in this movie actually.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot to bring this up, but kind of like simultaneously as like, tomorrow's the day that he's plug pulled. We've been getting scenes of Julie trying to figure out ways to wake Stu up. And apparently she has literally made like liquid nightmares.
Yeah.
Like she's the scarecrow or something.
Again, the script is wild. Like it's just like I feel like Sam Hamm was like, yeah, I didn't get the full credit for Batman. This is my script. Like, I'm gonna just go ham. On this one. And yeah, I feel like there was just no one who was like, dude, this is what this doesn't make any sense. Why would we do this? Isn't there another way? No, nightmare juice. Okay, all right, just whatever.
It's like Sam Hamm was like, they're never gonna put Scarecrow in a Batman movie, so I'm gonna use my
This is
Scarecrow.
my chance.
So yeah, they Julie's plan is to like stick Stu with so much nightmare juice that'll literally scare him away. And that only impedes his plan because it causes Stu to get caught into one of his own nightmares. A really freaking creepy one.
Oh yeah, I'm like, what in the hell? This is some Eraserhead crap, man. What
Yeah.
the hell is this?
In the story of the movie, the reason why Stu and Julie got together is Stu was having like horrible nightmares, which we see an example of this one. And yeah, I understand. And she's like she's like we said, she's a sleep doctor studying nightmares, and so she basically helped him like get over his nightmares and stuff, and that led to the creation of Monkeybone and him falling in love with her. This is like one of the few times we see an example of Stu's nightmares, which, yeah, as Parker was saying, some Eraserhead level shit. Monkeybone is able to save him though, by sticking one of the Reaper's scythes in there and just pulling him out. Um, they're able to escape, and it leads to a very unearned, "Oh, thanks, Monkeybone, I love you."
Yeah, it's a choice.
She's probably telling them that just so he can get out of there as quickly as possible. But, oh no, Monkeybone was a liar. And it's all a ruse. He hits Stu with a wrench, and it turns out that this was part of a massive conspiracy. Apparently, once again, the plot not making any sense. These exit passes aren't tied to specific beings. They just seem like they open.
Yep.
They just summon the Abraham Lincoln head.
This is my biggest problem with this movie. It's like, this is not a real person.
Yeah.
He's a figment of, like, these creations shouldn't be able to leave that bar. Like, clearly that bar is meant for his creations. Like, the fact that Monkeybone is able to just kind of go wherever the hell he wants, and the fact that he can steal this pass and go and get into, like, it doesn't make sense because he takes the exit pass into Stu's body. But how? Like, wouldn't Stu's soul be linked to his body? Why is Monkeybone linked? Like, what is going on?
Is it a loophole that if like the Figment has his DNA, so like the Abraham Lincoln head's like, oh, this is Stu's DNA. We'll send him into Stu's
Oh, he's
body.
a creation of Stu's. Yeah. So like any one of his creations could just be like, yeah, I want to steal a exit pass, so they're gonna go into Stu's body. It's like, imagine like Miss Kitty like in Stu's body.
Yeah.
It'd be wild.
So yeah, this is all Hypnosis planned, so that way Monkeybone could go to Earth. I don't know what to call the dimension, the real world, I guess. And spread nightmares around. So once again, this Sam Hamm is clearly just I want to use my Scarecrow ideas. What if Batman was Scarecrow? Stu wakes, but Monkeybone is in his body. And we get our first appearance of Brendan Fraser as Monkeybone. And this is where I think I joked to you earlier. I just at a certain point I just stopped writing notes on like most of the scenes because I just kind of lost interest in the movie again. And this is kind of where it happens. If you had issues with the first half, the second half up until a certain point is not going to fix those issues. I don't know about you personally, but like I could not stand Fraser as Monkeybone either.
I hated it. Because I mean, I get I appreciate the fact that it's like, okay, Brendan, you are going to be Monkeybone. Like you have to act like him, but you are you. And it's like, so his performance isn't like awful on an acting standpoint. It's just the fact of like this whole second half of the movie where he is Monkeybone is kind of unwatchable. Like, it's just kind of annoying because there's so many signs that Julie should be like, this isn't him. This isn't him. And instead it's like, oh, he's different now.
Yeah.
And you're like, I get it. He was in a coma, but do you think that he was really going to do all these things? He's swinging around like a monkey. He's doing weird stuff. He's watching like monkeys having sex on the TV, like as she's naked in the shower, which like there's just a lot of signs where it's like you should have figured this out earlier, and then it would have cut us having to watch this for the next 20-25 minutes because it's kind of unbearable.
Like the way he acts, it's to the point to where it's like, oh no, I made him crazy because I gave him all the nightmare juice. We need to like put him in like we need to give him like a psychiatrist or something. This is not how he
Yeah.
is at all. I obviously she's not going to be like, well, Monkeybone took over his body. That's why he's acting like this.
But he makes a deal with Hypnos where Monkeybone's deal is he's going to get the pass. He goes into Stu's body, but he has to spread nightmares to like for him to collect these nightmares from people. And it's like, but then it gets to a point where like Monkeybone is having such a great time that Hypnos is like goes into one of his nightmares. It's just like, yo, we had a deal. Like, what are you doing? It's like, well, what are you going to do about it? Like, what's Hypnos going to do about it? He's not a god who can like pull him out of this.
yeah.
Like, there's no threat there. So Monkeybone could just be like, I'm not doing your plan. I'm just going to live my life in Stu's body.
Yeah, fuck you. Give me all the nightmares. I'll have nightmares, whatever.
Right. It's just such a weird cartoonish plan, which I get it. Like it's a guy who creates a cartoon and these characters are already cartoons, but the second half it's just like it's kind of a slog to get through because of how unbearable Brendan Fraser is as
Yeah.
Monkeybone and like the shenanigans he gets into, and like there's just scenes that are just like, oh yeah, that's funny. Like when he flirts with the monkey or with the chimp at the sleep study or the sleep hospital. And it's just like, what are we doing here? Like, what are we doing? Like, I get he's a monkey, but like in that world, in the downtown, Monkeybone was flirting with women. Like Miss
Yeah.
Kitty, yeah, she's part cat, but she's still a woman. And he's flirting with her and he's like diving into her cleavage and doing things. But then he gets to the real world where he has the chance to have relations with a real woman. And instead he's watching monkey porn and he's like flirting with a chimp. And he's just like, and you're just like, this doesn't make sense for this character. This character is a monkey, but he has got human traits. He's horny for people.
But Parker, isn't it funny that he's flirting with a monkey?
No, it's really not, because it doesn't make any sense. And it is just really gross. I don't want to see that. It's not cute.
Speaking of gross, we're Herb is loving this because he's saying yes to everything, to the publicity and to the merch. Once again, he doesn't need to be saying yes to this because he's not.
Nope.
I really doubt that they would give like some animator like there's some like cartoonist like George Lucas level merchandise control.
Right.
Like we brought him up. Seth MacFarlane has made Fox so much money. I can guarantee you he doesn't have anywhere near this power that Stu apparently has.
Especially since they haven't even released any of the cartoons.
Yeah,
that was just a segment of the pilot.
Yeah, this show could flop immediately.
Exactly. And what are you going to do with all that merch you already made?
But the gross thing I reference is, for one, he eats a hamburger and there's a pig gut in there.
No.
But we're then introduced to one of the new Monkeybone dolls, which is codenamed Jack Horner. And this doll would never get past the stage. But it's a doll where Monkeybone has his finger in his butt, and then if you pull it out, it sends out like some gas or some colored vapor. Because it's a fart, and then like I guess because it's Jack Horner, he sticks the thumb in his mouth or something.
And then we get our devious plan of how he's gonna get these nightmares. You're just like, oh my god, What are we doing? Oh man. Just it doesn't end. It just feels like it goes on forever.
You're a father. Would you ever get this toy for your kids?
Absolutely not. I would debate on getting a Monkeybone like plush toy, but not this one. Like I'm not gonna
Yeah.
buy the one with his finger up his butt. Like it would just be like, oh yeah, like because I like the design of Monkeybone.
Yeah, it's a
Like
cute
he's a
design.
cool design. Like I would buy if I could find a collectible of the character. I would buy it considering the price. But no, I wouldn't buy this doll for my kids. Absolutely not.
Um, Also, this is just because I like toys. I noticed that the really quick before I finish what I was saying. So yeah, his idea is to basically steal Julie's nightmare juice and fill his butts, fill the toys' butts with the nightmare juice, so people could spray it in their face.
Why does he have all the dolls? Why are all the dolls at his house? He is
Especially
the
because
animator for this show. Why does he have all the merch? There should be a factory with all these dolls, but instead he's like, I'm going to keep them here. Because I understand
especially
it's got to be part of the plan, but it's like nobody's in the right minds and be like, yeah, sure. Why don't we let the animator of this or the creator of the show, let's just have him keep all the merchandise. No, it's not happening.
and especially because they said it's a prototype too, so they haven't got into production.
But yet there's so many of them. So
Yeah,
clearly it's not a prototype. You're not making that many prototypes.
unless it's just this movie just had another 3-month time skip.
Yeah, and they don't tell you that. They don't unless you like suddenly hear somebody be like, "Oh yeah, it's been like 6 months." 6 months since when? What are we talking about?
But the thing I wanted to get it. The thing I wanted to freak up was the toy. It seemed to like be one of those toys where like if you pull the arm, then it would go back in its place. But when he has the toy set up, they're all like the arms are set up just like in front of him, and he doesn't have them like locked off.
Yeah.
So these clearly aren't the same dolls. There's
No.
different Monkeybone plushes. This isn't
There's,
important to anything. It's just something I
uh,
noticed.
there's just so much wrong with. So you have him stealing the juice, him coming home. She finds him in like the poncho with no pants because he got attacked by the monkey or by the chimp at the sleep study hospital. So she knows something's up, right? But she kind of like moves on, even though he's been acting weird the whole time he's been back. Then she catches him with her friend. She catches him running around the yard trying to gas the dog. And again, they're just like, I think something weird's going on. Like, no kidding, something's weird going on. What is going on with your boyfriend? Like, there's just no care in the world.
Especially too because it's dog, obviously, because dogs can tell if you have different people in your bodies, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
Apparently the fact that this dog now hates him,
Yeah, because he's
still
Monkeybone.
concern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He smells the monkey on him, even though he's not real. I don't know. Logic
Uh,
out the window.
she does not care at all that their dog doesn't like him anymore.
Nope.
Like you think
She
that
doesn't
would be
question it. Yep.
she's just like she hates his goatee that he has.
Maybe.
Which
I mean, I know my wife hated it. She's like, what is that? Why did he just keep that soul patch? I'm like, because he's Monkeybone.
and sideburns too. He has like different sideburns. And
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I feel like that look was done on purpose. Like, what's a look that would annoy people? It's the soul patch, weird sideburns. That's how you know he's evil.
Yep.
So yeah, this is Monkeybone's plan is to basically send these dolls out and then infect people with the nightmare juice, which is this permanent? I
I,
hope it's not permanent. I don't want the dog to have like dreams like that forever.
I don't know, man. I mean, I do like the fact that we get like a reaction from Hypnos where he's just like, a dog nightmare. That's not what I want.
Pretty
But
creepy nightmare.
yeah, it's just it's again, this is the part of the movie where you're just kind of like, boy, the end's got to be soon, right? Like, I feel like we're just dragging this on for way too long. We could have had another 25 minutes of Stu trying to figure out a way to get out. I think this movie 100% would have worked better if it was just Stu having to get a pass. So it's him like planning, it's him doing different things, and then with kind of like going in between the real world in the downtown and him trying just to get back. But the fact that they were like, all right, yeah, but that's only gonna be half the movie, and then the second half is gonna be Monkeybone and being in Stu's body for the rest of it. And it's like, okay, but it just doesn't, it's so weird.
Yeah, what it makes it even weirder is from what I've read, that's what the book was. It's just Stu going through, well, in the book Darktown, trying to find a way, trying to get to death to find a way out. Apparently the book has a cliffhanger and then no more issues were made. So who knows?
Huh.
Maybe there was going to be a subplot about some other creature, which I don't even think Monkeybone is in the book.
That's weird. But I guess a cute, obnoxious monkey sells, even though it didn't. It didn't do anything.
They were going to make the farting toy for real.
Yep.
The movie did well. It was going to be the next Turbo Man. Luckily, these scenes are kind of cut up with Stu in, I guess, prison. So we kind of get the normal Brendan Fraser performance. Um, Apparently, this happened multiple times with both murderers and horror writers.
Why is Stephen King there?
Yeah,
He's not dead.
well, you got me. I don't know. Because like even we're gonna get kind of dark. When Stephen King had his car crash when he was actually in a coma, Cujo was written decades before that, and they imply that like when Stephen King became a writer, that's when they did it. So it doesn't make any sense.
So it's one of, yeah, it's one of those things where, okay, I get it. So when he talks about how Cujo he stole an exit pass and then allowed Cujo to enter King's body. So Cujo is now Stephen King. Cujo's a dog. So is Stephen King just a dog, a rabid dog now? Like
Yeah.
what? I'm very confused.
Also, if he has rabies, wouldn't he be dead? Because you get hydrophobia of rabies.
Who knows?
So it's like he writes Carrie. Poor Stephen King died today. He wrote Carrie and then died of dehydration. He did not end up making Thinner. I don't know why Thinner was the first book that came to my head for Stephen King. Maybe it's foreshadowing for my next. No, I'm not going to do Thinner soon. But yeah, so Stephen King's here, Edgar Allan Poe, who apparently is played by his ancestor.
Yeah, it's Edgar Allan Poe the Fourth. Like,
Which,
okay,
yeah, I don't know. I had no interest in actually fact checking that, or I don't know if that was just like a joke or something.
I don't know either.
By the way, did you think that was actually Stephen King, or did you catch on
No,
that was like a
no,
okay?
like it was a bad. It didn't look like him at all.
I think as a kid, I must have thought it was Stephen King, but yeah, watching it now, it's like that's not Stephen King. Doesn't look anything like him. The glasses, maybe that's it. But also there is like Jack the Ripper, Lizzie Borden, Attila the Hun, which I like. Stu's reaction, like Attila the Hun. I don't know why that cracked me up. I like seeing Brendan Fraser be annoyed.
Yes, he's very good at that.
So it's really like the writers I get, but like so they try serial killers for a while, and then at some point Hypnosis is just like, this Poe thing's working out better. We'll just do writers from now on.
Yeah, because you have Rasputin in there, Typhoid Mary. It's like, what is this?
But yeah, Hypnosis has been doing this for decades. But if Stephen King's still alive, I don't know why you needed Stu. Stephen King still writes books now, and it's 2026.
Yep.
Yeah, Hypnos tells him that, like, yeah, we're using your body. We're gonna, spread some nightmares. And hey, we somehow know that your girlfriend made a bunch of nightmare juice. I guess that's why, because she made the nightmare juice. Which, man, they got really lucky with Stu coming in then. God. Eventually, Miss Kitty helps them escape, though.
Yes.
She steal the key from Hypnos?
She stole the key from the guard.
Oh, okay, yeah. And then the last scene we see of Miss Kitty, after she has this like really like heartwarming scene with Stu, like basically talking about how great of a guy she is, and like he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Kitty. I have a normal human woman named Julie that I am in love with. I'm not into cat girls. I'm sorry." He didn't say that out loud, but I'm imagine. I don't know. He's an artist, so maybe he is into cat girls. I mean, he did.
I mean, he's in this world. Like, what's it gonna hurt if he
Yeah,
just did it one time?
it's not cheating if I'm in another dimension.
She'll never find out.
Would she believe him even if he did admit to it?
Exactly.
And after that really nice scene, the last image we see of Miss Kitty is her horribly mauling a rat.
The rat guard. Yep. Why do I feel like it was some weird ploy at Mickey Mouse? Like I felt like it was some weird, like, we can't say this is Mickey Mouse, but it's Mickey Mouse.
Hey, South Park got away with it, so.
True.
And then I guess because they couldn't think of another way to do it, we just cut to him at Death's lair. He's already captured.
Yep. Yep.
It does lead into a funny scene where Thomas Hayden Church, after Thomas Hayden Church hears the story about how he needs to get to his wife, he just immediately starts torturing him again. And then Whoopi Goldberg's like, "Hey, you sit down, get behind there."
Then he like sneaks up. He tries to do it again. Sit it down.
And like, I guess Steph is convinced by his story. Maybe because Stu's a nice guy, and I do like his reaction. Thomas Hayden Church's reaction again, where she's like, "Well, you're gonna need an exit pass," and she's like, "Oh." It's like I really wanted to torture this guy forever. I wanted to bring this up eventually, but is this where she tells him that he's like kind of vanilla, or is that at the end of the movie? Like his personality is.
Who, Death?
Yeah.
It might be here. Like right before
Okay.
she kicks him back to the real world.
You know what? No, it's at the end because that's when she puts Monkeybone back in him. I'll bring that up again later, but yeah, she kicks him to the real world, and he he asked for 1 hour, and she gives him an hour, but like I don't know how that would have worked.
That's such a short amount of time. Like if you think about it.
Also, I'm sorry, she didn't give him an X pass. She said he's gonna need a new butt. You're gonna need a new body. And that's what caused Thomas Hayden Church to go,
Oh yeah.
"Oh." So she kicks him into Chris Katan. Finally in the movie, the other guy in the poster
Yep.
plays a dead gymnast who broke his neck. And he's apparently an organ donor because do you know who that is taking his organs out?
Bob Odenkirk.
Which,
Saul himself.
did you first learn about Bob Odenkirk from Breaking Bad?
Probably. Oh no, I remember seeing him in an episode of Seinfeld, but it was
Oh yeah,
but he's in one episode, I think,
yeah. He's
where
one of
so
Elaine's
it
boyfriends.
yeah, and it's one of those, like, you know, you didn't really know anything about the guy. Like he was just another actor in Seinfeld. And then I remember seeing Breaking Bad, and that was kind of like my full introduction to Bob Odenkirk.
I actually have a weird introduction to Bob Odenkirk, especially because I probably shouldn't have been watching this show, but around this time, or maybe sometime after this, I got into Mr. Show. I don't. Have you ever seen Mr. Show?
I saw it like way after.
Okay. So yeah, for those that don't know, Mr. Show was like a late '90s HBO like sketch comedy show. It was Bob Odenkirk, David Cross, and Tom Kenny, who plays SpongeBob, is like one of the main cast members on it.
Love it.
blew my mind because once again, I watched the show when I was a kid. I was like, oh my god, that's SpongeBob. He's saying bad words.
It's great. I just need him to say bad words in SpongeBob's voice, but he refuses to do that.
I get
Oh yeah.
it. um, probably helps that he's still in like other adult content like Rick and Morty. So it's like, okay, hey, I'm still doing adult stuff. I just won't cuss as SpongeBob.
Yep.
Yeah, one of my dad's friends, he like gave him like the DVDs from Mr. Show, and then I just watched them because it's like, why not? So I knew who Bob Odenkirk. I'm not trying to brag. It's like I knew who Bob Odenkirk was before Breaking Bad, but that's what kind of got me interested in watching Breaking Bad when my dad was watching it because I was like, I don't know, the dad from Malcolm in the Middle sells drugs. I don't know if I want to watch this. Um, but then he told me, hey, Bob Odenkirk from Mr. Show is in it, and he plays this lawyer. And it's like, oh, that's cool. Plays a lawyer in a couple episodes of Breaking Bad. Cut to a couple years later where you got a whole show
Yep.
that maybe hot take might be better than Breaking Bad.
Mm, it's close.
That's a debate for another time. Um, but yeah, it's really cool just as random to see Bob Odenkirk in this, especially like because this is years before he would like break out, which is kind of funny because Bob Odenkirk was around even in like the late '80s. He was a Saturday Night Live writer.
Oh yeah, I forgot he was a writer for SNL. But yeah, his voice is what I always will recognize. Like I didn't even know it was him in this movie until he started to talk, and I was like, "That's Bob Odenkirk," because his voice is so like he has a voice unlike anybody else.
Yeah, yeah, it's very recognizable just simply from his voice. I just repeated what you said for no reason. Apparently, this must happen all the time. He's not at all worried that Chris Kattan's character has come back to life. Um, and he just wants his organs no matter what.
Yep.
Yeah, to me, the movie really got better again once Chris Kattan showed up. Because I like Chris Kattan. I know he's like, well, I mean, when he's on Saturday Night Live, he was pretty popular, but kind of like, I don't know. I wouldn't say he was ever like a big star.
No, absolutely not. I think the majority of things you'll remember him from is from the skits from SNL. This movie was probably the movie that I liked him the most in.
Yeah.
I wasn't really a big fan of Night at the Roxbury. I don't know. I didn't really care for him. It was funny because we just did a watch along of Santa's Sleigh
Oh,
from
yeah.
2005, and he's in the beginning. He's in the intro of that movie. Uh, yeah, he's just one of those. I think his comedy just kind of aged out.
Yeah.
Like today, it's just he's not what you remember him being. Like he's not that funny. Like
Yeah.
he was funny. He was great in SNL. I just think that's where he just couldn't escape that.
I think he's really good in House on Haunted Hill.
Oh yeah, where he's playing like a somewhat serious character, but he still has that like comedic
Yeah.
charm to him.
I kind of wish that he got more like not saying like I wanted him like dramas and stuff, but it would have been cool to see him in like more of like the straight man and stuff. Because I'm like that with Will Ferrell. I actually like when Will Ferrell plays the straight man over like the
Yeah,
more louder character.
like I think that's why I love Anchorman because like I feel like Ron Burgundy was written as a like he is supposed to be serious, but like he's living in a world where men were it takes place in the 70s, so like it was a more male driven world, and so it made sense that he would be this awkward like misogynist kind of I mean Ron Burgundy's a piece of shit,
Yeah.
and but he doesn't know he is because of the period he's living in, so it's like it's funny for the movie, but it's also like, yeah, this guy sucks. And he's good at it.
Yeah. I still kind of like Chris Kattan. I will defend. Well, I won't defend Corky Romano. If you don't like Corky Romano, I'm not gonna
I've seen
fight
it
you about it.
once. and I couldn't tell you a thing about it other than the fact that Chris Kattan is in the movie.
I have fond memories of it. Maybe if I watch it now, I'll be like, yeah, this fucking sucks. But I still have a fondness for Chris Kattan, and I think he kind of like injects like new life into this movie. Um, Not to say like he makes the movie great, but it's just like, okay, cool, there's something funny's happening again. And it really is just him running around with like a broken neck, just trying to get home. Hey, look, a Harry Knowles cameo.
Oh my, I knew that's who that was.
Apparently he had 2 scenes and they cut him down to 1.
He should have been in none.
Yeah. Man, why was he in movies and Roger Ebert wasn't?
Why was he in anything? Why did anyone listen to that guy? That guy sucks.
Yeah. I'm so happy that nowadays nobody listens to very loud and abrasive people that criticize movies for dumb reasons and complain about that. I'm glad that no longer happens on the internet.
I know. Those guys are the worst.
I hate the internet. Anyways, Buster is able to know that that's Stu, and also so they don't have to deal with the Chris Kattan craning his neck anymore. He tapes a ruler to his head to keep it straight. I wonder if that was always the plan, or just Chris Kattan one day was like, I can't keep pretending my neck's broken. Can we just keep it?
Do something here. I don't want to do this anymore.
Now we are at the climax of the movie, the big Monkeybone banquets. Everyone's so excited about the show that has not aired yet. I don't even think more episodes have been produced.
Nope.
But everybody is excited, especially because there's a giant pinata filled with the Monkeybone fart dolls. Herb takes one of the dolls, and once again, why would someone let this go into their face?
Yeah, he just shoves that thing. He's literally like, I wonder what it happens if I pull this finger out of his butt and let's have it about 5 inches from my face. Like, bro, what are we doing, dude? You saw what this doll did at the meeting. He saw what the doll did, so you knew what was going to happen. Yet you shoved your face in that ass, and not the ass you want, and got all that purple stuff right in your face. It's like, all right, sure, whatever, man. Like, let's. This is to the point where it's like, just please end this movie. It needs to end.
Of course, he gets a nightmare, and his nightmare is his clothes attacking him.
Yep.
Which causes him to get naked and run out of the building naked. Funny gag. I love Dave Foley, but so I'm not going to blame him for like that scene. But yeah, it's really dumb. Especially because like the other nightmare sequences we've had were like so horrific. The fact that this one was just like really goofy.
Yeah. This movie got super goofy in the second half. Like this movie was cartoonish the whole way through, but the second half it was just like, all right, here's this weird master plan that Monkeybone has to get nightmares that he really doesn't have to get. Also, this guy's going to strip down naked because his nightmare is about his clothes, and he's going to have purple all over his face. And then we're going to have Monkeybone sing Brick House to his girlfriend. And you're like, what is happening? Please put this thing out of its misery.
And then Chris Kattan's, I don't know his name, that's why I keep calling him Chris Kattan's character. He uses his gymnast skills.
It doesn't even have a name.
Does it just say gymnast or something?
It just says, as an organ donor that Stu briefly possesses.
I'm gonna check IMDb really quick. What does Letterboxd say? Letterboxd says organ donor Stu.
Oh man.
IMDb, yeah. Okay, his name is canonically organ donor Stu.
Okay.
So organ donor Stu uses his gymnast skills, which, okay, if you inhabit the body, you get their skills.
I guess. I don't know. I don't understand the rules here.
I guess Monkeybone could have kept drawing then because he would have had Stu's talent.
Yeah, but we don't see anything.
The funny gag because they start playing the Olympics music. So
Yep.
and he he interrupts. Of course, they think he's crazy. He tries to tell Julie what happens. She instantly is like, "Okay, this is nuts," and it's like, I don't know. Are you sure? Your husband, maybe hear him out a little bit more.
Yeah, and then she kisses him. My wife went to, she's not weirded out. She kissed a dead body. I was like, well, her fiance was in there, so I guess it's not that weird, but it's still weird.
She believes him because he refers to her as Doc, which is like the little pet name he gives her. Big Shining fan. I'm assuming that's why.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Don't know why I went to The Shining instead of like Bugs Bunny, but, but and then he like says like, "Oh yeah, I saw your nightmare," and then like, "Oh you, I called out to you, you woke up, remember?" And that like causes her to be like, "Oh my god, this is Stu. This all makes sense."
Yep.
He so he tries to get Monkeybone to come back in his backpack because that's, I guess it's how you stop Monkeybone, but it never works because Monkeybone just keeps talking.
Yeah, I don't know. Again, this is where I was starting to just check out. I just wanted it to be over.
I look at my notes and I wrote like 2 sentences about like the next like 20 minutes of the movie. And one of which is just a random actor that comes up. So Monkey Bone, he breaks the big pinata which carries all the Monkey Bone fart dolls. People cannot, they're like rabid animals trying to get these dolls.
Yep.
Once again, like, you guys haven't seen the show. Why do you want these so bad? Um
We
and
saw
even
we saw the pilot. We know how good it's gonna be. Like you do? Okay, sure.
like I'm just imagining like if they like showed like the SpongeBob pilot to like the investors thing and just everyone was like, "Oh my god, I need a SpongeBob doll." And it's like that's just,
Yep.
you just saw him become a fry cook. It's like we don't really know much about these characters. Any threat that the dolls pose is immediately forgotten about because now it just becomes Monkey Bone and Stu chasing after Monkey Bone. They then get on a Monkey Bone themed balloon. Just a hot
Yep.
just a hot air balloon of Monkey Bone just right outside. Um the fight is kind of funny because like they keep like picking up weapons and then like Stu keeps throwing his organs at Monkey Bone and then it keeps cutting to Bob Odenkirk and the doctors going around and grabbing like all the organs, one of which falls on a grill and they're like, "Yeah, still good, just put it on ice."
It's yeah, it's hilarious that all this doctor is worrying about is getting the organs, but not the fact is like, hey, does anybody want to like question the fact that this man is running around like he's alive, but yeah, we have half his organs in our container? Like what?
And they all just like kidneys too.
Yeah.
Stu and Bucky Bone keep fighting, and then a cop is just like, "I know how to get him down," and then he just shoots the hot air balloon that's in midair. By the way, random fact that I found out, that cop is Linguini from Ratatouille.
What? Oh,
Yeah,
was it Lou Romano?
yeah, Lou Romano,
Uh,
um, who at this time he was like a Pixar guy, and then he eventually left to do, I can't ever pronounce his company right, Leica.
oh, yep.
He went to Leica. He left Pixar for Leica, and so I'm assuming that maybe like I can buy the fact that Harry Selick and Lou Romano might be friends, and he's just like, "Hey, you want to be in this movie?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure."
Well, Leica would go on to do Coraline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I know I don't know if it was at this time, but Henry Selick, I think he was going to do a Pixar film, and like that
Oh,
never saw the light of day. So I don't know. Maybe he met him through Pixar too. Uh, maybe they just met through like because they both love stop motion.
yeah.
The fact that we're both speculating about Harry Selick and Lou Ramondo's friendship kind of says a lot about this movie towards this part. So they both die, um, and they're sent back to downtown. But Def shows up in her giant mech suits and catches them.
Oh my god, I didn't think this was real.
And Def just decides that she is going to smush Stu and Monkeybone back together again. She points out that like Stu was kind of vanilla without Monkeybone, and that kind of leads me to like want to have this discussion about Stu's character. They keep implying that like Stu has changed since he like switched hands and like started joining things like Monkeybone. There's even a line earlier where he tells Monkeybone like, "You need to start learning how to act normal." I did, and other than like those couple of mentions, this like never comes up with Stu's character. Like, okay, yeah, no, there's one more mention. There's Julie tells her friend about this and kind of mentions that like, oh, which side did you fall in love with? Never brought up again. So there's this kind of like arc with Stu where he kind of learns to be like, he stops being like such like a boring person. But like this, like, I don't know. Did you get any of that from this movie?
I don't I don't know what I got from this movie other than the fact is the writing is just I like this movie felt like it was written by like 12 people.
Yeah, maybe it was, and just Sam Ham got all the credit.
And it sucks that like Sam Ham's name is the one that like is the full like this is the writer of the movie. The guy who helped write Batman. Because it just feels like such a mess. Like there was so many hands in the pot of what this movie should have been, and instead it turned into like 3 other movies.
Yeah,
It's like this movie should have just been him being in a coma and him finding a way to get out before his sister pulls the plug, and that's it. And
yeah,
Monkeybone is kind of his like his obstacle. Like he's got to go, or just make Monkeybone like a good guy. Like the fact they
yeah.
made Monkeybone a bad guy is just like I, I don't I didn't understand it.
Monkeybone could have literally just been a sidekick.
Yeah, I just the second half of this movie is just it's really hard to get through because it's like it's trying to be really funny, but it's not because it's obnoxious. Where it's like, oh, isn't it really funny that Stu's like that Monkeybone is Stu and like Brendan Fraser and like what he's doing and it's like it's so out of character and it's like yeah, but the fact that no one is questioning what he's doing, it's like oh well, he was in a coma for a long time and people can change when they come out. It's like to that degree,
Yeah,
like I get maybe being like I need to be more open with myself and just kind of and be free with my decisions instead of being kind of locked up and not wanting to be a part of the world. No, this dude is this absolute psychopath. Like, and it's obvious to everybody, but nobody's questioning it because one person's going to make a lot of money off of it. And the other person is just like, they know it, but they're just taking forever to do something about it.
yeah. Because the moment she's like, Julie is given like any information, she's just like, "Oh yeah, I believe you. Okay, everything makes sense." It's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you don't want to debate on that for a little bit?"
Right. You're just like, okay, I've just lost the will to care about what's going on in this movie.
Yeah,
To like every time they go back to like downtown and Stu's, dealing with what he's dealing with, it's like okay, I'm still kind of invested in this part of the story. It's when we're back up with Monkeybone being in Stu's body, you're just like, I don't care. I just don't care about what is going on right now. It's just not good. It's not written well.
and then like just the fact that this movie seems to like have like an art like or arc with Stu that was never really presented because it's like
No.
you can't even be like, "Oh well, did you see how grumpy he was at the beginning of the movie?" Yeah, I get it. Oh, do you see how like kind of grumpy and like serious he is in like the bar? It's like, yeah, he has to deal with all of his creations. Of course, he's gonna act like that. there was never a point where I felt like Stu was like kind of like being like a wet blanket or anything because he justified it everything he was annoyed about.
Yep.
So yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but at least Monkeybone's gone.
Thank God.
And then she flicks him back into his body, and apparently falling a couple 100 feet did absolutely nothing to Stu's body.
Nope, he's perfectly fine. He's in the ambulance, and when he comes to, and he's like shaves off the hair on his chin there, and then he finds Julie, and like no one's gonna be like, "No, sir, you need to stay. Like you just fell 400 feet. You should be dead. Your bones should be shattered. Like you're not leaving." And it's like, "I'm fine," and just like wanders away, and no one chases him. It's like, I guess he's okay. He seems fine.
Even like Bob Odenkirk freaks out about him like coming up, and it's like, but you've been chasing like a dead guy this whole time. Why is this what scares you?
I don't know, man.
It's like, oh, getting your neck broken and getting yourself cut into, that's survivable, but falling, there's no way you come back from that.
Nope.
So yeah, Stu finally proposes to Julie, and they finally get their happy ending. Hypnos faces no punishment for what he did, and I guess everything keeps on going. And then we're shown one more shot of Dave Foley telling people to take off their clothes.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, I guess Hypno's been doing this for millennia, so I guess it doesn't matter. He's just going to do it again with somebody else.
But Parker, what if I told you that there's another ending that shows Hypnos getting what's coming to him?
Oh, I would believe you.
So yeah, there's an alternate ending. So instead of like having Dave Foley be like, people take off your clothes, it cuts back to downtown. Hypnos is ready to leave, which is there other places to go? I just assumed it was downtown and Def's lair. It's a long roller coaster. Maybe there are other worlds, and Stu just stayed in downtown for some reason.
Right.
But yeah, Def shows up in her mech. She like rips open the top of Hypnos's movie theater. I don't know. And then she crushes him. And it's like, oh, why'd you cut that out?
Also, what? She's just doing this now?
Yeah.
She couldn't have done this a while ago. But all right.
Maybe this is the first time she heard about this. She's like, oh, that's what's been happening for hundreds of years?
Yeah, maybe.
What, Attila the Hun is from like the 1300s?
Something like that.
Oh, 400. Attila the Hun is from the 400s.
All right.
So Hypnos has been doing this for like 15,000 years, and she's just now finding it. Maybe time works differently in downtown. Maybe Stu was only there for a day, and that was 3 months.
Maybe.
I don't know. This movie's frustrating. Because it seems to have, it has like so much creativity. The art design is so cool. Brendan Fraser is like, this just is a movie that like fits well with him because Brendan Fraser has like really good range. He can play like goofy characters, he can play serious characters, and he kind of like, this movie gives him a chance to explore all those, but like the writing is so poor.
It's awful. It's really bad. And I try to give movies like this benefit of doubt because of what it is. Like the subject matter of what this movie is. Like it's the fact that the whole first half of the movie, it's kind of like, okay, I can go with this. This is fine with me because it's just a live action cartoon. And I'm okay with that. But the second half, it's like, yeah, so we want to make sure you really know that it's a live action cartoon. You're just like, yeah, but it's going too far to the point where it's not funny. It doesn't, and it just doesn't, like, yes, logic shouldn't really be in play in movies like this, but you also have to make things kind of make sense to that world. And the way the second half goes, it doesn't make any sense. Why is Monkeybone able to do what he does?
Yeah.
Like, he's not real. He's not a real thing. He's not a person. People should be the only things that are able to be returned to Earth, to their bodies. not a figment, a drawing that somehow comes to life in this weird world. It doesn't make any sense. And it's frustrating that that's the choice that they made, and they made it very unfunny.
Yeah, I don't know why they had to make such a big emphasis on the real world. Because, like you said, it would be so much more interesting if this whole movie was just him in downtown trying to figure out how to get out. And we can go to more places than just, downtown and Death's Lair.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like this story had like a lot of potential, but they just got stuck trying to make sure this would please audiences, which ended up not working. Because going back to James of the Giant Peach, you have stuff in the real world in the beginning to the end, but when you get to the kind of the fantastical world of the movie, you're stuck in there for the rest of the movie. Obviously, the stuff with it keeps cutting back with Julie like hoping she can get Stu awake, that's fine. But it's just the fact that right in the middle of the movie, it's okay, now it's Monkeybone in the real world time. And it's oh no.
Yeah, to be honest, it was, I mean, it probably just repeating myself. The fact is they didn't know what they wanted this movie to be. And in the end, it's just a hot mess. And I can see why it didn't make much money, because for one, the title is not great. Two, I feel there was a lot of people who went to see this opening weekend because of Brendan Fraser, and maybe saw the trailer and just thought seemed like an interesting concept, and then saw it and were just like, yeah, I'm not telling anyone to see this movie. This movie is awful. I'm not telling anyone. $7.5 million off of a $75 million budget. That's awful.
Yeah. I'm looking at Bedazzled, which came out before this. Bedazzled wasn't a huge hit, but it made its money back. I don't know if you ever seen Bedazzled.
Oh yeah, Bedazzled is a good time.
Yeah,
Elizabeth Hurley is also Brendan Fraser is great, but having Elizabeth Hurley with him, made it what it was.
That was a good pairing between those two. And then I guess we're just going to praise Bedazzled for a bit now. That's the section of this episode. Bedazzled has a core idea, and then it just sticks with it for the whole movie. It doesn't randomly oh, now it's this type of movie. You have that, and then you just have Brendan Fraser not play an annoying character. In my mind, you make a classic movie, but then something like Monkeybone, it just doesn't know what it wants to be.
Nope.
I think that's the underlining thing about it.
Yep. It's very disappointing because I really enjoy Brendan Fraser, and I think he does. I'm not going to fault him for this movie. I think he does a great job for what he is given. I think he is very charming and lovable, as this character, until he turns into Monkeybone. Then he's just. It's very George of the Jungle in the second half, the way he acts in that movie, which I always loved George of the Jungle because I knew what it was. That's what that movie is supposed to be, a live action cartoon. And so it made sense for him to act goofy and over the top, where this was just we get why he's doing this, but it's just not funny, and I'm not having a good time. I just want it to end because Monkeybone as a character is so insufferable.
Yeah. So that's any final thoughts?
Yeah, this is just, it's just disappointing because of who's the director, who's the actor, and just what you have on the table, but yet they couldn't execute. And it just seemed like way too many people had their hands in the pot. Studio probably had way too much interference. And yeah, I mean, this movie was ultimately why Henry Selick never went back to doing a live action movie ever again. But overall, it's fine. I'm not gonna say it's terrible. It's just, I'm not gonna go out and be like, guys, you know what movie you should really check out? Monkeybone. Probably not gonna do that anytime soon.
I agree with what you said. I feel like a lot of the cast save this, not even just Brendan Fraser, but I like Whoopi Goldberg in this. Giancarlo Esposito is good in this. But yeah, it's not funny, and then it's not interesting after a certain point. And there's only so many times that I could be like, oh, that creature in the background looks cool. Before I can't defend the movie anymore. So yeah, it's not awful, but it's just frustrating in how not good it is.
Yeah.
Got some behind the scenes info. Well, really, I have one behind the scenes info, and then just Henry Selick's thoughts on the movie. Um, I believe this is from Double Toasted. Quoted as saying, "It certainly would have been better if they advertised it a little. I would still like to do a director's cut because there's a lot of stuff that was removed. Main lesson learned is I don't really do well in the live action universe. I love my world of stop motion. I went down a slippery slope to make Monkeybone, but the film came out. It's not my vision of what the film could have been." So I guess even Henry Selick himself was just like, yeah, I'm not good at live action.
Hey, at least he knew where he went wrong and just goes back to what he does best.
Yeah. Which I know Coraline is like, obviously Coraline isn't like Nightmare Before Christmas level, but I was in high school when Coraline came out, and that was a really big movie among my peers.
I watch Nightmare Before Christmas at least 20 times, 25 times a year. So it's a movie that's still near and dear to my heart. Coraline is another one that is just so memorable, and I think it's so different. Um, yeah, Henry Selick has a talent, man, and I just wish he got more credit for the things that he did, or he
Yeah,
still does. I mean, he's still working today. So,
he's he's
um,
he's one of
yeah.
the few people that's helping keep stop motion into the
Oh,
public eye.
absolutely, absolutely.
Which, yeah, because him, the people that work at Aardman or Leica, or even Phil Tippett recently made like a stop motion movie. I think there
Oh
was
yeah.
another. I think there was another stop motion movie, literally called Stop Motion, that came out this year too. Like it's like a horror movie.
Oh yeah, it's just called stop motion.
I'm happy this movie didn't kill his career, just kind of showed him where his talents lie. Another fun fact of this movie, originally Ben Stiller was up to play Stu.
Yeah.
I don't know if that would have been I mean, I like Ben Stiller. I don't know if that would have been any better, because the idea of Ben Stiller playing like a very annoying monkey that's in Ben Stiller's body, I just feel like that would have been just as annoying.
Oh my God, yes. Because we all know Ben Stiller can play annoying. He's
Yeah.
played many annoying characters in his career. So yeah, 100%.
Apparently, Stiller, though, he wanted to bring his own people to do a script, to do like a script revision, and Selick said that no, he wants to stick with Sam Han. Um, but he said that like the movie was just like not funny enough to what he wanted it. So if he had the chance again, he probably would have taken Ben Stiller up on this option. So I don't know if Monkey Bone was a different movie, if like kind of like Ben Stiller's Eye, maybe that would have been better, but we don't know.
Right.
He didn't even get a chance to like touch up the script, so we don't even have any idea. I'm sure if you ask Ben Stiller now, he'd be like, "What's Monkey Bone?" I do think it's funny though that he turned this down. Well, okay, it's so I've read that he turned it down, and I've read Henry Selick turned down the idea, so who knows? But instead of this, he did Mystery Men.
Yeah.
Mystery Men is important because that was the first episode of this podcast.
Oh, all comes around.
Do you have any thoughts on Mystery Men?
I have not seen it in probably 20 years, so no, I do not. It's been so long.
That movie still holds up to me. If you watch it based off my recommendation and you don't like it, I'm sorry. But yeah, that will bring this episode to a close. So, Parker, please let us know where we can find you.
Oh man, so you can find me and my shows Dissect That Film and The Monster Zone. We're on YouTube. We're on all the podcast apps at Dissect That Film. You can find us on social media at Dissect That Film or Dissect That Film Pod on Instagram and Threads. We're on. I probably said YouTube already, but and yeah, that's pretty much it. I got it all. But yeah, you can if you just go to Google, just type Dissect That Film, you'll probably find anything that we're doing right now.
One of my favorite things that you guys do too is you make a X post or a Twitter post, as the kids used to call it, asking people to share their thoughts of the movie, and then you guys read them on the show.
Yes, that is something that I love doing, even if we only get a couple responses. Which X is one of those apps that is just, to me, just a dying cesspool of garbage. But there's a few good people still left there, and it's good to get responses about all sorts of movies, even the obscure that we cover. So yeah, it's definitely something I've loved doing, and will be continuing to do in 2026. Well, I just want to say thank you again for having me on. This was a lot of fun talking about a movie that I haven't seen in a very long time. Getting to talk to somebody who is just as excited to talk about movies as I am, and I just want to say this was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for coming on. Like, yeah, this was a blast, man.
Absolutely.
If we do this another time, I'll try to pick a better movie for you.
Listen, like I said, I will talk about whatever movie. I just like talking about movies, even if they're not so great. It's still fun to talk about them in some way.
Definitely. Until next time, you guys have a good day. Bye bye, everybody.